All right. Well, welcome to the Team Nourished team call. It is Thursday, March the 11th. Welcome to you all. I'm so grateful that you're willing to take some time tonight, not only to spend it in the community of your team, but also learning something new. I know that tonight's topic can be kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people. So I really want to hopefully be able to change your heart and mind on this specific topic. Tonight, we're going to be talking about attracting business building coaches. And I think that that's the area where people feel like they struggle the most. And so I hope that my 6 years of doing this will help you to kind of gain some new knowledge about this and change your mindset on how to attract business building coaches. But before we get started, let's do our little slideshow. Let's see here. All right, so there we go. And first things first, we're always going to do some recognition. So congratulations to our weekly top 5. In the top spot, we have Carrie Summers. Then we have Jennifer Lotes and Amanda and Michael Harold at number 3, Mara Chester at number 4, and Katie Garrett at number 5. Congratulations, you guys. I am glad to see so many faces up here and some new faces and some faces we haven't seen in a while. So it's really exciting to see people get re-energized about this and to really start sharing this with other people. If you are new to the call or you're new to the replay, know that you get on the weekly top 5 by helping enroll people as coaches, as customers, so Success Club, and helping people get enrolled as coaches, and then also your own personal volume. So whether that's sales, and that doesn't equal a Success Club point, just because somebody doesn't buy a challenge pack doesn't make them any less deserving of excitement and what we have to offer. So you get recognized for that. So congratulations. And we don't have anybody in Success Club yet, but we have a lot of people really close. So congrats to Carrie Summers at SC4, Emma Shaw at SC4, and myself at SC4. We have Allie Lamb at SC2, Jennifer Lotes at SC2, and Amanda Harold at SC2. So congratulations, you guys. I love that we are helping people already this month. There's still a lot of month left to go, but just so you know, guys, we do have spring break, I know, for a lot of people. And so I don't want you to lose focus with having kids home that are not normally home, or maybe you will be traveling. I know we're going to be headed out of town. So things might look a little different, but I would love for you to take some time every single day to intentionally pour into your business. You will never regret the time you spent building your business. So congrats to those of you on the board. All right. And as you know, we are now doing some social media shout out kind of things, because I think it's really important that if I'm going to train you on it, I want to recognize that you are doing what you're being trained on. So congratulations to Kendall Phones, who posted earlier this week about, I just loved her post because I think that number 1, it's showing her as a working person. Number 2, it's showing her engaged in a healthy lifestyle. Number 3, she's talking about something that actually means something to her, and it's not just fluff. She's telling a little mini story here. And I've seen, Kendall, I think I saw you on the call, Kendall. Yeah, you are on the call. I've seen you grow in your social media in the last month. And so I just want to congratulate you for that and just put it out there that I'm super proud of you. Congrats also to Paige Yorgi, who is up on the social media shout out for her transformation post. I absolutely loved that her transformation post was not just about weight loss. It was just about any transformation she may have had. I think that that's really important, that we don't forget that all transformations count. Whether that's a physical transformation, a mental transformation, all of it counts. And I feel like it's really fun to see people transform. And Paige, I feel like these photos, wearing the same t-shirt is always really fun, because you really get to see, or wearing the same piece of clothing, you really get to see a true reflection of how somebody has transformed. And I think that that's super awesome. And also, I wanted to congratulate Jennifer Lotes, who, this is a little bit different than I normally do. Most of the time I put up some kind of post that someone has done, but I really wanted to congratulate Jen for something that she actually started this group, several years ago. And it's just for accountability. It's not a purchase group. It's literally nothing other than, hey, I have an online group for accountability. We post our workouts. Doesn't matter if you do Beachbody, doesn't matter if you do whatever. But she's using this group essentially as an ongoing free group where she is putting people in here all the time. I've watched it grow in the last week. She's adding some value. She's not over adding, meaning she's not giving everybody the cow and not paying for the milk or whatever that is. You get the cow milk for free, something like that. But that she's still adding every single day in here. She talks about her water. She talks about, she like uses this essentially as like her accountability post, which I think is fantastic. She's already had one person sign up and she's got 3 other share carts out right now with this. So obviously something she's doing is working. I think it's a fantastic idea. She is bringing people into our boot camp as well. So she's not giving, it's not like she's copying and pasting a boot camp and saying like, here, I'll just give all of this to you for free. She's just doing something that's engaging a lot of free people. And I think it's a great idea. So wanted to shout her out for that. Okay, big summit announcement, you guys. If you checked your email today, or you may have seen chatter in different Beachbody groups and stuff like that, they did finally announce that Coach Summit for this summer is officially canceled through Beachbody. We all kind of knew that was going to happen, but we really wanted to wait for the final word. And I think, if anybody else is a little like me, we still have that like glimmer of hope, like, but Remax is doing their conference and like they have wristbands and, it's like, but they get to do it. And I feel like, a little kid who's like, that's not fair. I want to be with my friends. And so that's kind of how we were all feeling with this. But a bunch of coaches and I because we've known this is coming down the pipeline for a couple weeks now, that this was the most likely course of action. We have been chatting behind the scenes about what we can do. Because the reality is, you guys, there are people who are ready to gather. I am one of them. Okay. If you are not ready to gather, that is okay. Total respect for whatever your personal feelings are and your comfort levels on traveling during a pandemic or whatever. But here's the deal. At some point as leaders, you just have to make a decision and you just have to drive forward. And so a bunch of us have gotten together. We are going to be having our own mini summit. We are not going to be alone in this. I know for a fact we will be with Jen Hines's team and Cece Davis's team. I also think that we're going to have Jacqueline Hughes's bigger team with us. And we have looked at the most likely course of action, and none of this, like I said, location is to be determined. The most likely course of action is, because of my friendship with Moira and Together Rising, that we will most likely be tagging along in our own pod with their retreat. Moira is the #1 coach in all of Beachbody, guys. If we get to be friends there, I want to be friends there. Do you want to know why? Super trainers hang out with the top coach. Other top coaches hang out with the top coach. She has resources that we can have available to us. And so I want to be a part of that. I feel like you guys probably want to be a part of that. And so it is going to be hosted July 14th through the 18th. The location is to be determined. Right now, it is between Florida and Texas, since those seem to be the most open states. I cannot confirm if we're doing a house or if we're doing hotel accommodations, but some kind of accommodations will be involved in this. And the other thing that we're going to be doing with it is treating it as a partial retreat, meaning we're going to have all different kinds of qualification points for rank, for success club things, where essentially, if you've been to a Beachbody Summit before, think of that on a smaller scale. So there's going to be swanky events where we get dressed up. There's going to be live trainings with the coaches that are actually live there. There's going to be trainings that are the virtual ones that Beachbody is offering. We're going to be having a diamond day. So anyone who is diamond and above will get treated to a special day. We have other things that we've talked about. I kind of don't want to say a bunch because I don't want to like get somebody's hopes up for something that doesn't end up happening. But there have been several really exciting ideas kicked around about fun things that we can go do in either Texas or Florida. And that if you qualify for them based on your rank and stuff like that, that you would get that compensated. But just like Summit, this is not something that I like I'm not going to pay for a coach, an emerald, et cetera, for your accommodations. That's not, this isn't a retreat in the sense of that. It would be, you know, this is the cost for your room. Do you want to come? Yes or no, kind of thing. As I promise that I will go live and I will make posts and I will announce things on team calls as I get um, more details ironed out with the rest of the people who we're doing this with. But, you know, Carrie, I know you were talking privately today, and not to sway you in any way, shape, or form, but I will say one of the teams that we're looking at doing this with is Diesel Nation. So, I mean, there is a little Christina Delgado dangling there too. So we've talked a lot about that and who we would be trying to link up with so that we can have as big of an event as we can possibly have safely and funly. So that's what we're trying to do here. Okay. Couple little things for social media training tonight that I learned this past week that I want to pass along to you guys. And, you know, I think I've shared this with you before. Part of what I want to do every single week is bring you at least one social media tip that you can start employing immediately and then take forward into the rest of your week until next week when we add another layer into that onion. So 2 common mistakes on Instagram, and I see people doing it all the time. I personally have fallen victim to these 2 mistakes. This is why I chose these 2, just to reinforce that these 2 things are incredibly important. Number 1, not engaging with other people's accounts. That is something that people do all the time. I see people trying to build a business, but they think that other people should just come to them, that they don't need to interact on the other end. Social media is social for a reason. If you were to walk into a party and you can have the best, fanciest dress on and you can have the greatest, coolest hat and just stand there and be like, yeah, all these people should just come to me because I'm that amazing. Or maybe you're doing a fun dance and maybe some people might come to you. But the reality is, socializing is a two-way street. So if you want people to be social on your platform, you must be social on other people's platforms as well. I see it all the time. Here's the other thing I want to tell you guys. And I love you, and I love you for wanting to build my social media. But if the only people you're interacting on are other coaches, they aren't gonna buy your shit. Okay? So like, thank you for liking and commenting and saving and sharing. And I do the same. So like if I see something really cool on yours, I'm liking, I'm commenting, but I can promise you my interaction with my team and other coaches is probably 2% of who as a whole I am interacting with on social media. So I want to make sure that you have, and maybe yours is too. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing. I can't see your end of the deal, right? But if all you're ever doing is commenting on other coaches and interacting on other coaches and watching other coaches' stories, and you wonder why your business isn't growing, that might be part of it. So be sure that you are socializing, comment, like, share things, you know, be social. And then engaging with other accounts. You can be featured on the suggested list, which if you have seen that pop across your Instagram, it'll say like, oh, your suggested friends. So then they click and follow you, etc. It's not a one-way street. Get out there and be social. Number 2, lack of consistency. I see this almost as much as I see the other one. And I loved Brock and Shalene's, like, they did a cute little video about it. I'm not gonna like show you the video, but the basic premise is you have go-getter Greta and you have lazy Linda. Go-getter Greta is posting 1, 2, sometimes 3 times a day, 1 time a day, but she is consistently posting across the week. She takes Sunday off because, you know, it's the Lord's Day. It's time to Sabbath rest, right? Good stuff, Linda or Greta. And then you have Linda, who posts like 3, maybe 4 times a week. And that's it. If you're not posting consistently, you will not consistently show up in people's feeds. So don't expect that people will see your stuff. The thing that people get tripped up on is they think that everything they post should be seen by everyone that follow them. That's not how this works. It's not how it works on Facebook, and it's not how it works on Instagram. So don't be afraid to post more than once a day. If you only post once a day, great. If you happen to skip a day, don't like beat yourself up over it. It's not that big of a deal. But do your best to remain consistent with posting, because not only does that show that you are consistently adding value on the social platforms, it also builds trust with your followers. If you drop off for a week, guess what your potential followers believe, whether it's true or not, guess what they believe will happen when they sign up with you? That you cannot be consistent with them either. And so if you like think of your social media platform as ground zero of the coaching opportunity. That is your audition to show people how consistent you will be as a coach, how in it with them you will be as a coach, how much value you can add to them as a coach. So be sure that you're being consistent. And then I loved this tip, and I wanted to share this with you guys. As someone, and here's the deal, I was having a conversation with one of the members of our team earlier this week. She said, you know what, I feel like I'm posting the same crap over and over and over. It's the same 10 people liking it over and over and over. I'm not inspired anymore. What do I do? I gave her a little bit of advice. I'm going to give you guys the same advice now. Number one, and we're going to talk about this a lot tonight, find your niche market. Figure out what kind of people you're talking to, and then you know what kind of content to share. If all you're ever doing is sharing your workout and your lunch, which again, I'm going to applaud you for your consistency in doing that, you will at some point stall out. It's inevitable. Like, you have to treat this as an added value kind of thing. And so I want you to figure out your niche market. We're going to talk about that a little bit tonight. And then if you're lacking inspiration, you repost. I downloaded an app called Repost. I'm sure there's a free one. I just like the Repost app. It's super simple. And because I paid for it, like, there's not any like weird stuff on there. I don't know, follow the directions on the app. I don't know how to do it. I just follow the directions every time. But you find content that is valuable and you share it onto your social media platform with Facebook, etc. If you saw my post today about the shrimp salad, that is a repost. It says it right in there. I am not trying to claim that as my own post, as my own photo, as my own recipe, even though some people seem to think it is my own recipe, like whatever, they can think whatever they want. It is a repost. So I am reposting something that I find valuable on. One little tip about reposting, and I always hesitate to share this, but I feel like it does need to be said since there are a lot of newer coaches on here. I would encourage you you can share on your stories other coaches' things. I would encourage you not to repost something from another Beachbody coach, because when you repost it, it links their stuff. And guess what people do? They click on it and they go to that other coach. And so most likely, if you are sharing that other coach's stuff, guess who that person is going to find value in. So not to say it's a competition, not to say it's literally anything other than smart business practices, but all I'm saying is you don't go into Walmart and they're sending you to Target. Okay. So don't do the same to your own business. You're kind of shooting yourself in the foot there. So just make sure that the people that you're sharing from, there's lots. I mean, good Lord, guys, there's millions of people on social media. Don't act like the only people you can share stuff from is other Beachbody coaches. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Be sure to add value to your followers. Next week's tip is going to be a lot about adding value. So stay tuned. Okay. So that is our little presentation. Let me check. Uh-oh, how do I stop share? There we go. Let me check the chat. Just need to get all the details and make a decision. Yes, of course. Absolutely. So that's for Summit. Okay. Was there any questions before we move on to tonight's content of attracting business building coaches? All right. Well, then let's get to it, you guys. All right. So, and this can be an interactive, so feel free to chat in the chat. I did not make a slideshow for this, mostly because I didn't have time, but also because I kind of want it to be more of a fluid conversation, even though there are going to be some like specific points and some homework I want you guys to do from this conversation. So if I hear anything from anybody who wants to build a business, if they've been doing this for more than like a month, I will hear, I can't find any people to build a business who want to build a business with me. And I get it. Trust me. I spent a very, very long time in my business with absolutely no business builders, with maybe an emerald here and an emerald there, but nobody who really wanted to build a business. And what's crazy is I told people that I had a team of people who were working. I mean, if you asked me 4 years ago, 5 years ago, who are your working coaches, Danielle? I would have listed the heck out of some people, you guys. I would have been like, well, Sarah is, and she is, and she is. But the reality is, they were not building a business. Not a single one of those people. I mean, some of them are still on my team, but as like, discount coaches or whatever, but none of them have gone on to build businesses because they weren't business builders to begin with. Okay. And being realistic about what's going on is really helpful in this conversation. So I want you to, number one, own the fact that you don't have any business builders. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's nothing that you're like, oh my God, I'm the worst coach ever. I don't have any business builders. Like, whatever. It honestly, at today, it doesn't matter, because the cool thing about this business and literally your whole life is that at any point in time, you get to choose to change directions and move in a better new way. So hopefully some of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight will really, really help you. But here's a couple of hard truths. Number one, do not expect a business builder to join your business if you do not talk about your business. If all you ever talk about is your workouts, nobody knows that they can join your business. Okay. So that is number one. And I see it all the time. People are like, well, I said something about it once. They know I'm a Beachbody coach. Well, cool. But like that girl, Melinda, that you talked to a year ago, do you remember what she does? Do you remember all that she has to offer? No, because she's not consistent with sharing it. So if you aren't consistent with sharing the coach opportunity, what you do as a coach, how you help people as a coach, how you earn income as a coach, and I'm not asking, please, actually, for the love of God, don't do this all in one post every single week. We got a thunderstorm going on in Hawaii. That never happens. I know. I'm like, yay! It never happens here. I think we've had 2 though this month, maybe. Yeah, that's really fun and sad because there's a lot of flooding still. So maybe don't, like, just thunder. That'd be fun. Anyways, but don't expect people to remember what you talk about week to week. I'm telling you now, people don't know. They're not smart. We as human beings are really not that smart. And I will tell a quick story, and I hope to God my sister never joins our team. And if she does ever join our team, that she never watches any replay of any video. I love my sister very much. She's not smart. I've been a Beachbody coach for 7 years in November, right? I think it's 7 years in November. Yeah, because Eden just turned 7. My sister signed up for Beachbody On Demand off of a Facebook ad. She's told me in a casual conversation that she signed up for BOD. And I'm like, you know what I do, right? Like, I'm sorry, pardon me. No, what are you doing? So I was like, no, give me your email. We're going to fix this. But the reality is, you guys, she's literally my sister. And she was like, oh, yeah. Huh. I kind of forgot. Okay. So if it is possible for a human being who is directly related to another human being to forget what that human being is doing at any point in time, we aren't sharing it enough. Okay. So nobody on this call, I watch your social medias, nobody's sharing it enough. Okay. I want to see it at least once a week. So then I get the next question. Well, I feel like I'm saying the same thing. I joined my coaching opportunity. Like, you have to come up with new and creative ways to share that, right? So a lot of the things that are very popular that are working right now, there's different seasons have different things that work, right? But right now, one of the things that seems to be working for a lot of people is talking to them about how they can build a business of their dreams, or build an online business, or build a virtual based business, build a side hustle. It doesn't have to be something that retires you from your full-time job. Maybe you love your full-time job and you don't want to retire from your full-time job. It doesn't mean you can't make full-time income with Beachbody coaching. So get that out of your head. I think a lot of people get that tripped up in their head, that like, oh my God, if I make a full-time income with Beachbody, that means I have to give up my full-time job. No, it doesn't. Not unless you want to, not unless that's your goal. You can do both and have double income. Isn't that amazing? But you're not going to do that selling just challenge packs. Like, again, we need to be real here. You're not going to build a secondary income, a consistent secondary income, selling 3 challenge packs a month. You're going to build a secondary income from having other people with you building their businesses. That's how this model works. And I realize people are like, oh, I don't like that. Well, guess what, you guys? That's literally what every business model does. If you started McDonald's, they don't make money just selling hamburgers. They make money selling franchises that sell hamburgers. Okay. So that's how bigger income is made. And so we have all of the tools and resources to help people grow businesses that provide them with whatever level of income they want to work for. Um, and I think that that's hard for people to share when they feel like they haven't seen that success personally. Specifically with the income thing, I hear that a lot. It's like, well, that's nice, but like, I've only ever made 200 bucks a week, or I've only ever made $500 in a month. Like, how am I supposed to share with people that they can do this if I personally haven't done it? Y'all, all coaches share other people's coaches' success. Like, just because you haven't doesn't mean I haven't. And just because you haven't doesn't mean that that girl that you just enrolled won't. So limiting other people's potential based on what you personally are doing is shooting you in the foot. So you've got to start learning how to articulate the opportunity to earn income with this. One of the ways that has worked really well for me, and this is part of your homework, is to sit down and make a list of 20 ways coaching has changed your life. And I don't just mean I lost 10 pounds and I had a better relationship with food. Those things are great and they can go on the list, but that can't be it. That's an invitation to a boot camp. Okay. What has coaching, what has Team Nourished, what has Team Beachbody brought into your life? And if you don't have a really great foundation in that yet, that needs to be a working list. If you can't come up with 20 ways today, you need to keep that list out on your desk, or keep it a list on your phone. And every time you think of it, write it on the list, because that's a post. That's a topic you can talk about in your stories. That's a reel you can make. That's an Instagram live you can talk about. There are so many ways. My favorite like income way to share, or story to share, is Danielle Natoni. When Danielle Natoni started, and if you don't know who she is, she's fit and funky, freaking obsessed with her, love her business, love what she's done in the past 10 years. She's in well, not all of, but a lot of Shanti's videos. She's in Insanity and Insanity Max 30 and all kinds of stuff. But she tells her story of when she got her very first paycheck. And she said that she was always the girl that went to the gas station and had to watch the pump. She's like, I would go to the gas station and I knew I could put $10 worth of gas in my tank. And so I would watch and I would click the pump and I'd get to like 950 and I'm like, ooh, squeaking, squeaking, squeaking. And like, I don't know if y'all have been there, but I have been there. I have been in a financial place where I have been able to put literally $5. And granted, that was, 15 years ago and gas was cheaper. But I could literally put $5 worth of gas in my gas tank. And she said her very first goal, business income goal with this opportunity, was to be able to go to the gas station and not watch the pump. Guys, what is that? I mean, even now, even in 2021, even if you have a luxury SUV, which if you have luxury SUV, I sure as hell hope you can afford gas for it. But even if you have that, what is it? $75. So if you made $75 with this coaching thing, you're going to tell me that that's not enough to share? It's enough to share if it puts gas in your gas tank and you didn't have to watch it and click it to the end. So get those kind of stories within yourself. I love Megan Holmes's story where her very first coach paycheck went to buy herself a bathing suit, and she still has that bathing suit because it reminds her that I bought this with the money that I earned from helping another person feel confident in their body. So start collecting those kind of stories and share them openly. I do kind of want to put a little hashtag compliance thing in here. It is a big, big, big deal right now with compliance about income. Do not share specific numbers. Even with the coach income disclaimer, that has changed in the last, you used to be able to kind of squeak by with it. That has changed in the last month or so. They have cracked down very, very hard on it. A lot of it is because Beachbody itself is going public in the stock market. And so the FTC is very watchful right now. And we don't want to do anything to compromise the coach opportunity. It usually, what typically happens is if you're caught doing it, if somebody and essentially it's some jerk face who's like, I know I can get her in trouble for that, and they forward it on to the wrong person and you get in trouble. A lot of times you get a big lengthy talking to and a smack on the wrist. Sometimes they just shut your business down, and that's the end of that. And I don't want that for anybody on this team. I don't want that for me, and I don't want that for Team Beachbody as a whole. So just be sure, if you are going to share income, number one, you always use the full income disclaimer, not some like random mishmash of like, yeah, it takes the heart and the hustle. Like, it has to be the full income disclaimer. Y'all, every single time I use it, I Google it. Beachbody income disclaimer. I copy it and I paste it into the comments of my Instagram post. It's not hard. Don't act like it takes that much thing. You want to be even more efficient? Just save it in the notes in your folder or in your phone. So be sure that you do that if you share anything about income. For example, with income, one of the things that I shared, and I was talking to somebody in compliance about it because I want to make sure that I'm doing it right. And I know how powerful sharing income is with people when they need money, right? Income is a very, very attractive thing to someone who doesn't have any. Okay. So I don't want us not to be able to share it. I just want to make sure that what we're sharing, you're allowed to share. So, like, for example, one of the things that I shared last year that I was a little like, oh, I don't know if I can share that or not, is the fact that my Beachbody income more than pays for my children's private school admission here in Hawaii. I get to do that because I have worked my ass off in my coaching business. And I want to be able to share that I was able to do that because 5 years ago, if we had the income we had 5 years ago, that wouldn't have even been an option on the table for us. I mean, like, it would have gone on a credit card and we would have been in a lot of debt and a lot of trouble, right? So the fact that we can do that and not have to worry about it is a really big deal. So I want to be able to share that. But I cannot say I pay for my children's thing because coaching is just so great. It has to include the income disclaimer. It cannot include any monetary facts. The other thing that I do want to tell you guys that I was talking to some other girls about it, just in that same line of talk. If you're on a phone call with somebody, if you're in a Zoom with somebody, go for it. Feel free to share what you make. Feel free to share specific numbers. Nothing that can be screenshotted is just, if you can think of that, like nothing that can be screenshotted, you'll be fine. So for example, when we do our team sneak peeks and stuff like that, We will no longer be using the income cards that we made, but we will be talking about the income in the Zoom calls and stuff like that. So just so that you're not like, hold on, I thought you said we couldn't do that. Verbal, fine. The other, not fine. Okay, so moving on from that. So now you're posting consistently, right? About coaching, and you're talking to people. The other thing that I get a lot of people struggling with is inviting people to the coach opportunity. Number one, it's a part of your business activity tracker. So like if you aren't doing it and you're still saying that you're completing your business activity tracker, you're lying to yourself. Inviting to coaching is a part of your business. So you need to be inviting to coaching. But how do you do that? Here is the most effective way that I have ever found in my own life to share it. Get to know the other person and get to know their pain point, so that when they talk about not being able to afford Shakeology, when they talk about not being able to I don't know, a big one for me was travel. And I know that that's kind of hard right now, but a big one for me was travel. All we ever did as a military family was travel to see family. That's not a vacation. I don't know if you know that or not, but traveling to see your family is not a vacation. And it's not how I want to spend my husband's vacation time. I want to go on an actual vacation where I do vacation-y things like drink mojitos by a pool, not sit in my parents' living room and play rummy, which is also nice, but not a vacation. I never had a vacation like that until Beachbody. A, we couldn't afford it. B, those opportunities just weren't available to me. So when your friend is whining and moaning and complaining about their dead end job that they hate, the perfect time to talk about coaching. A really easy way to get in there and talk about it is I have, and we'll talk about what the fill in the blank will be, a sneak peek, a landing page, a PDF, something to show them. Or do you want to hop on the phone and I can tell you more about what I do as a coach? I actually talked to somebody last night or yesterday afternoon about that. And I was like, do you just want to hop on the phone and we can just talk about it? Easy. 15-minute conversation. And now the ball is rolling. So know that you can do that. Is it uncomfortable if you've never done it or you're not practiced at it? Yes. Are you going to say silly things that you're like, hold on, no, that's not right? Yes. Guess how you're going to get better? By doing it over and over and over again. Again, I go back to my sister. This is probably why she never reached out to me. But I remember when I started Beachbody coaching, and I wasn't just doing it for a discount anymore. And she was like, what do you mean you're a coach? What does that mean? And I stumbled and I fumbled and I bumbled all over my words. I could not tell her to save my life what I did as a coach. I never really, I mean, I might have articulated it like once to somebody else, but it felt very in my face and very like, well, what does it even mean? And I'm like, I don't know. I like help people lose weight and stuff. Yeah. Do you like, you make up their workouts? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, I do some meal planning and y'all practice. It's not, I mean, like, do you want to get, if you were a basketball player and you wanted to get better at basketball, what would you do? You would go practice. You are a coach. You want to get better at talking about coaching. You have to practice. One of my favorite things, I was on a training call earlier today, and I loved Angie Belmar, and she's another one of the top coaches. She was doing a training for some of the leaders today. And she said, you will never be good in the beginning. You just have to start somewhere. And it's funny when it's about lifting weights and running a mile, we're like, yeah, okay, I can get behind that. I'm not good at that. And I'll just practice, or it's basketball or whatever. You think you're like, yeah, that's fine. I can get better. But man, when it comes to coaching, I have to be good at it right out of the gate. I have to be perfect. And you won't even articulate that you have to be perfect. And most of you will not even articulate that you think that. But the way you act and the lack of action tells me that's exactly what you think, because you're not willing to put yourself out there and take the risk and just do it and be willing to fail. What is it? Meredith always said, like, show up to suck. And I'm like, all right, I will show up to suck, and I will keep showing up, and I will keep showing up, and I will keep getting better. So don't think you're above practicing. Okay. So that was one of the things I want to talk about. So now you're sharing about it consistently. You're inviting people consistently, but what are you inviting them to? And this is where I think people psych themselves out, because they're like, all right, I'm doing the things. I think at every step of the way, we kind of shoot ourselves in the foot, or we're in danger of that. And you have to have something to give them, right? Like, you got to offer them something. If they're like, because what's going to happen, I see this all the time, and I get screenshots and I get panicked messages. Oh my God, Danielle, she said she wants more information. What do I do? I don't know what to say. And I'm like, you give her more information. Well, I don't know what that means. This is what we're going to talk about. You have to have something to give them. You have to have a call. You have to have a web page. You have to, and that sounds scary if you're like, oh crap, I can't do this because I don't have a web page. Y'all, it's stupid simple to make a web page. It's 2021. If you can't do it, get your kid to do it. Your child can make a web page. My 7-year-old can make a web page. Okay. It's not that hard. Might not be what you want, but it's not that hard. Google it, be resourceful. I talked to somebody earlier this week about stuff, and I was like, I don't know, I just Googled it and figured it out. And she's like, that's your answer for a lot of stuff. I'm like, yeah, it is. That's how you get better at stuff. You look it up. You don't just rely on, oh, well, I'll wait until Danielle talks about how to build a web page on our team call. Who knows when I'm going to talk about that? I don't even know when I'm going to talk about that. So figure it out, right? Like, get on the Google and GTS, right? Isn't that what, what's his face? I can see his name anyway, or I can see his face. I can't see his name in my head, but he talks about GTS. Google that shit. So do a sneak peek. Our team hosts one every single month. We do, I think, what is it, Carrie? You're my calendar girl. When did I say it is? The 29th? I think it's the 29th at 8 p.m. Is that right? I need you to confirm that, Carrie, because I forget things like that. But the 29th, I think, is when our next team one is. We will also, every other month, which I feel like means it's this month, but I got to check in with Cece and Jen. We will also be doing a team one with Cece and Jen. It's a Zoom call, like where we all hop on, tell a little quick story. I go over a part, Jen goes over a part, Cece goes over a part. I know Carrie had a girl sign up, what, yesterday? Is that when, Bailey? Monday the 29th. Thank you. I thought so. At 8 p.m. Nope. It'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern, because that's after the time change. If that doesn't work for you, you're like, oh, well, shoot, I can't invite somebody to a sneak peek. Guess what you can do? Host one yourself. Jump on Zoom with the person. Offer to hop on a 15-minute call with them. Make a web page. You don't want to make a web page? Get onto Canva and make a PDF. I can give you a couple of, this is one that I shared with, this is one that I am having, let me say it this way. This is one that I'm having recreated for our team. I popped it in the chat, but this is another one of the top coaches, Holly Hillier, does this landing page. I'm going to be making one of these for our team, but just know that it will have a lot of my information on it. So if you want to make a PDF version of this for yourself, and when I say PDF, I mean go into Canva and make a 1-page singular document that says, what is coaching? And then maybe it has like a little explanation and a picture of you. And then it says like, how do I earn income from coaching? And then it has a little explanation and maybe a picture of you and your family. And then it, it says, I don't know, whatever, like go through the web page and look at it and figure it out how you want to make it look like something you want. But you need to have something. And even if it's just your own personal response, I would encourage you to practice that. I would encourage you to talk into your voice recorder. I would encourage you to do some kind of, maybe stand in front of the mirror. I don't know what you need to do, but talk about pretend, like act like a crazy person and pretend, somebody asked you something and say, like, what is coaching? and say, oh, well, I coach, online health and fitness groups where we do meal plans and accountability. And I always say our fitness aspect is run through Beachbody On Demand. Have you ever heard of Beachbody On Demand? Great question to lead right into. Have they ever even heard of it? And I'm not hiding the fact that I'm a Beachbody coach. I'm not hiding, it's not like they get 3 months down the road and they're like, oh, and you've invested all this time talking to them and they're like, oh my God, I didn't know you were a Beachbody coach. Like, well, I've said it 100 times, so that's on you at this point. But so make sure that you have something, whether that's a response, a sneak peek, a landing page, a PDF. Again, my team hosts them, like my own personal, like when I am looking for new coaches, host it every month. I'm currently working out a new system where I'm going to be meeting with people one-on-one, because I feel like that's where my like best coaches have come with, are like one-on-one interactions. But do that. Okay, I want to make sure we're going to move on from talking about it and attracting new coaches, and we're going to flip into the mode of I've signed someone up. What do I do now? Because I think that's another hump in the road where people shoot themselves in the foot. They give people way too much, way too quick, and they overwhelm the stinking crap out of them. And they're like, oh my God, I can't do this. Y'all, stop doing that. Okay. I did it for a really long time because we have so many resources. We want to just give them this huge box of stuff and like plop it down in their lap and say, here you go, be a great coach. That's not how it works. And maybe it is for some people, but it's not for me. And no, and this is the other thing that I want to remind you guys of, especially because the majority of you on this call have signed up. Well, I think everybody on this call has signed up coaches before, and I guarantee your people have petered out. Number one, I would remind them when they come to you and say, this, you know what, I don't think I have time. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just really overwhelmed and work is crazy and ball practice and all of the things. And we are like, okay, well, I'm glad you came. You can still be in the boot camp, and you give up. What kind of coach gives up when somebody says, I think I'm too busy? If you flip it into boot camp mode, if you have a boot camper that comes to you and is like, oh, Paige, I don't know, I think I'm just too busy to work out. What do? You're not like, okay, well, sorry, you gave it a good old try. No, you help them problem solve. You help them figure it out. Stop giving up on people just because they say they're overwhelmed. I say I'm overwhelmed 400 times a day. Not actually overwhelmed. In that moment when I'm shredding carrots and I'm tired and my kid comes to me on one side, my other kid comes to me on the other side, my husband comes in, and then Paige comes in, and I'm thirsty and I'm tired, I'm going to say I'm overwhelmed. Give me 10 minutes of privacy in the bathroom to pee. I feel like a new woman. I could conquer the world. Stop letting their momentary feelings change the way that you coach them. Can you change the way you coach them? Absolutely. What I always encourage people to do is I call it out right then and there. I'm like, girl, you're making this way harder than it has to be. It is not that hard. I know it's a lot of stuff. And trust me, I felt like giving up 100 times. But know that when you're learning something new, you always want to give up. The best thing you can do for yourself is to go back to basics, meaning start at your personal journey and just share it. Share your enthusiasm with people. You don't have to do all the things all at once. And that's where we trip up. We start telling people about team cycle bonuses, and we start telling people about Instagram algorithms and build your brand and do this and do that. Let them get good at their own personal journey and sharing that. And y'all encourage your people to get on the team calls. I try really, really, really hard to not tell you everything. That's why we do one social media tip a week. I don't tell them every social media technique that they can possibly do. Have I done that in the past? Yes. Has that come back to bite me in the butt? Yes. So I change directions. I figure out a new path. I learned and I do better. This is no different. So know that you can always bite-size piece it out for them. And what I remind them, because I get a lot of people, because they're like attracts like, right? Where they want to do it all at once. Because that's how I am. Like I get the college syllabus and I read the entire thing and I freak the F out and I'm like, I'm quitting. I'm out of this class. This sucks and it's horrible. And then I have to take a big deep breath and I have to just look at day one. What are day one's assignments? I can do that. So instill that into your people and remind them over and over and over. You don't have to do it all at once. And tell them there are some things in this business you don't need to know about right now. And it's not because I'm trying to hide something or keep something away from you. It's because it isn't relevant to you right now and it will only muddy up you getting started. So I would rather you just get started, help your first couple of people, and then we'll move on to rank advancement and team cycle bonuses and APV and all of the things. Like I had a call with a new coach, Jen Lotes, earlier today, and she wanted to know all of this stuff about Diamond and beyond. And I'm like, girl, that's fine. We got to get you to Emerald first. I'm happy to have that conversation with you after you are Emerald, but I am not going to talk to you about building a Diamond team when you are not Emerald. Okay. So like, just do the next thing. Help the next one person and then teach your teams to do the same. One of the things, I was talking to somebody earlier this week and they said it was really valuable, so I'll share it with you guys. I send my brand new people every single Monday. I have it on my calendar to send any coach that I enroll, whether they are a discount coach, a business building coach, whatever. They all get what's called the Bestie Bootcamp email. So I send that out every Monday to everybody I enrolled in the prior week. And it just tells them about the Bestie Bootcamp bonus, which is their $10 off promo code that Beachbody sent them. And then also, if I have a promotional going where if you help somebody in your first or second month, guys, again, this is strategic because our team gets elite points for people that help their first person in their first month or their second month. I give them a $25 Amazon gift card. You can do that too. You don't have to make $1,000 in a month to feel like you can get. Don't make it 25, make it $5. Can't tell you how many people I see on my feed that are like, we have a doTERRA promotion going on that if I help 5 people, I earn a $50 gift card. Does anybody need doTERRA? I'm not asking you to do that, but I am saying like that encourages people to reach out to somebody. And again, I make it very easy in the email. I talk about if your husband is already stealing your Shakeology, you may want to use the $10 off promo code to get him his own. If you can sign up your first person and make a $25 Amazon gift card for signing your husband up with Shakeology. Like you can do things like that. If I can impart one, and we're almost at time and I want to give you guys time for questions, but if I can impart one lesson on leadership that I've learned in the last 6 years, it's to stop waiting for other people to take the lead. If you see something that another coach is doing and you like it and you want to emulate it, meaning like, oh, I like that Danielle does a 25% or $25 Amazon gift card. Don't wait for me to give you permission to do that. If you like that our team gives out prizes every month for somebody that helps 3 people, give your people prizes and tell them, hey, if you guys help 3 people this month and get an SC6, I'm doing a tank top. I didn't wait for Jackie or Meredith to say, okay, this is what we do as a team and this is our team culture. No, I saw one of my coach friends was doing it. I was like, I want to do that too. I was like, where's that link for that tank top? I want that. So they send me the link for the tank top and you guys get a tank top. It's not that hard. Quit waiting for people to give you permission and to tell you what to do. Be resourceful and start doing the stuff yourself. If this team call doesn't work for you at this time, then find another team call to get on. Start your own team call. Like, if you start your own team call at the exact same time my team call is, I might be pissed. But if you do it on a Tuesday morning, because that's what works best for your schedule and your team's schedule, then do it on Tuesday morning. do it with one person. I can't tell you how many team calls I sat here and did with one person on them. So don't think that you're too good to do something for one or two people. Don't think that your boot camp is too small. Don't think that your income is too small. Don't think that any of it is too little. That's you talking yourself out of doing anything. Nothing grows until you get over that hump. So, okay. Hopefully this was helpful in empowering you to share, to go get business builders. Just invite them. It's not difficult. And the other thing that I want to say before I completely open it up for questions is, if you need to hype yourself up for some confidence when you get on a live video or when you talk to somebody on Zoom, I want you to take, I know we talk about borrowed confidence a lot, but I want you to borrow the confidence that I have when I talk to somebody with the assurance that I can absolutely teach you how to make a or make this into a six-figure business. I can absolutely, you know what? I can teach you how to be a top coach. You want to know why? Because I'm friends with the top coach and I have access to her trainings. So don't tell me that I can't do that. We're all doing the same thing. We're just all doing it at different levels. So you have all of the exact same equipment that I do. You just aren't sharing it, or you're just not confident in sharing it out loud. So practice and get confident. So, okay. Amy says, stop talking about me in the comments. So I'm sorry. I love you. Does anybody have any comments, questions, feedback? Was any specific piece of this helpful? Would love to know. It's also pouring down raining.
I said don't talk about me because we had already talked about it before. I'm the oversharer. I'm the overwhelmer. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do that, and then I got my new coach.
It's just shut up. Means something.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's the first time I've listened to you, you know, and then shit happens.
Who knew? Don't worry. I'm just as egotistical. You're an Enneagram 8. I already know that. You can take the test all you want. You're an Enneagram 8. Egotistical. I'm telling you, think you know.
I am an 8.
I know you are. It's okay. That's why you're a good coach too. Just kidding. Everybody's a good coach. Sometimes silence is golden. And more than that, Mara, I would say sometimes asking a question when you don't know what to say, ask a question. I was talking to somebody earlier today about that. Well, same girl, Jen Loads. She was talking about how her friend answered her back, her question. She said something about, she's trying to get her son up on her team. And she said, oh, I've been a coach before. So Jen took that to me, like that was literally the end of the sentence. Oh, I've been a coach before, period. And Jen has created this entire story about what happened. Well, she probably hates coaches, or maybe she's even still working with her coach. I mean, do you think she had a bad experience? I don't freaking know if she had a bad experience. Ask her. Say, oh, are you still working with your coach? Oh, what happened? Why are you not coaching anymore? Ask a question and stop thinking you know everybody's story, because you don't, and neither do I. What else? Any other feedback? Was any of this specifically helpful? Any questions about anything else in life in general? Sign them. Had bad experiences there. That's the thing. You know what? Stick with this, Mara. I've been a coach for, like I said, almost 7 years now. I can't tell you how many people come to me and they're like, well, my coach quit. Well, she signed me up and I never heard from her. Well, blah, 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 blah. But you are consistent. Damn right I am. I can't be a whole lot of things, but I can do that. Like, I can show up, and there you go. Yeah. No contact. I text people. Great. Like, whatever like, I think some people think that they have to, like, I have to do it on DMs because that's how Danielle does it. No, if you do better with text, then get their phone number. Like, you do, I would say don't do, I mean, I know Meredith is like the queen of emails. Y'all, I don't read my emails that closely. So if you, and I will say this, if you aren't good at checking your emails and keeping on top of it and corresponding through email, do not make that your primary mode of communication. I would consider, what is your personal primary mode of communication? How do you talk to your friends? If you want to go to the movies and you're trying to get a bunch of friends to go, how do you get in touch with them? However that is, you wouldn't email them. Dear Paige, will you please go to the movies with me today at 4 and it's 2:30? No, I would pick up the phone. I'd be like, hey, oh my God, there's a new movie. Do you want to go? Communicate this the same. Outside the gym. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, if you're face to face, then get face to face with people. I'm face to face too. Mara, I can't tell you how many that is. I would say, like, if I had a superpower in this, it's being face to face with people. I like it. I like to talk to people face to face. It just works for me. Face to face and texting, or DMs or whatever. So all right, you guys, it is right at 9 o'clock. I do know there's a call, maybe with Set Your Soul on Fire, that I think is starting right now. Carrie, yay! That's congratulations, Mara. I'm excited for you. That's perfect. Yay. I think Amy Silverman's Set Your Soul on Fire call with Carl is going on either right now or it's getting ready to start. So I want to make sure that if anybody wants to hop on that, you have time to do that. So, all right, you guys, love you lots. And I will see you back here next week. Bye.